What's going on, everybody? It's a great day to be alive. I got my passion back. I got my vacation out the way. We're ready to talk fantasy football. Today, we're going to be talking about Trey Lance's finger. We're going to be talking about strength of schedule, top dynasty picks, and of course, the best fantasy football, most intense fantasy football league. No experience like this, and it's not one of my top dollar crazy things where you have to pay like $3,000 and go to Vegas. I'm talking about a free league. There's really nothing like it. The Throne League. Can we officially say it is the best free league ever? Because free is not the right adjective for the Throne League. The
No,
Throne
it's
League,
it's one of a kind.
it
It's one
is
of a kind.
insane. The Throne League is a community versus community league to see which fantasy football community is the best. We won 1 out of the 3 years. It was amazing. We have a war room in Discord. We do everything. We have scouts. We hire people to go and cheat, which is allowed, like to go and scout. You know how Bill Belichick hired, or Robert Kraft has an independent video company that, all legit stuff, not cheating. We got that going on too. We have scouts going on. It is nuts. We argue. We have real live voice calls on every single pick when we find it necessary. Sometimes we're just like, let's draft this. If he's fallen, we just like the year we won. We're just like, we're taking Calvin Ridley. It took us 2 seconds. We didn't even need to talk about that. Calvin Ridley, one of the biggest league winners that year, was at 2021. No, 2020, 2 years ago.
2020. Yeah.
Basically, if you had Calvin Ridley, it was tough to lose that year. It was that good. So we're going to be launching that soon. And that's a link to our Discord. If you want to be in the war room in the Discord, just message me, hit me up on his social media, email me. You can find a way to get in touch with me. I'll send you a link. It's going to be amazing. We'll probably draft, I don't know, in a few weeks, in a month, something like that. The draft takes forever, but it is the Throne League, and I just want to boast, and I just want to show how grateful I'm grateful that I am part of the Throne League. I'm grateful for my community and how we get down. And last year, right, there was a couple reasons why we lost. One, the fantasy football reason was we drafted Darren Waller, I believe, and that's automatic loss because you spend an early draft pick. He's so bad. Let's say he's fairly disappointing, but you have to start him. And it's like we had Gronkowski on the bench, where we would have got another win or two if we started him when he was the tight end one. And another thing was, I think some people kind of, got mad at the debates we had. And this year, I urge my community, I urge us to hang in there. And even if you don't get your guy, even if we make a dumb pick, which we did when we won, we drafted Todd Gurley somewhat early. I mean, anytime you draft Todd Gurley, it was early when he was on the Falcons. It was a bad pick. We still won. We still won waiver wire kings. Because we hunt in there, because we got those late round draft picks, because we crushed it. We crushed it because we got Calvin Ridley, because we made smart decisions, because we scouted out the other teams. So this year, I urge you guys just to stay, help out, stay all the way through. It's an excruciating, long process. You guys know I get sweaty. I have to take pees. I have to take nervous poops during it because I'm like, oh my God, we got to hop on the voice call. But it is amazing. Let me know you guys' thoughts. If you're hearing about the Throne League for the first time, we're live right now in the podcast as well. So let me know what you guys think. But I love it. And hopefully, Sushane, you're going to be ready to go for all 16 rounds this year.
Oh yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's always fun. I remember the highlight of it was I had this one Chase Claypool essay. We got the pick. He did well that year for us for a couple games at least. It's good memories. No matter what happens, fun debates. But hey, let's go win, man. Let's go win this time.
That's what it's about. It's the closest thing you will get to a real war room. There's one thing with fantasy football. One thing it's fairly lonely. Like you can have a great league with great league mates, and that helps. That's a great little tree club you guys have. That's cool. Group of friends. You guys talk trash. That's great. But it's not really like this. At the end of the day, it's like you're just competing with other players. No one. This is like 70 people going at it, trying to build a team. Like like just like a real NFL team. You got the GM, you got team captain, you have scouts. We're doing a lot of research, we're making a lot of arguments, and this is what a real war room does, right? And in San Francisco, there was a debate: hey, should we draft Justin Fields or Trey Lance? And I'm sure a lot of people took the podium and made their points, and glad they drafted Trey Lance, matter of fact.
That is mine, man.
So Trey Lance says, finger injury impacted me all last season. Feels really good now. And I think we should talk a little bit more about news on these podcasts. Not a lot of I'm going to get rid of all the fluff and stuff, not really talk a lot of news. But I think it's good to open up with some news. And this is big news here. So Trey Lance reportedly played with a broken finger last year, all season, that he injured in preseason. Now, this is a big deal. And let me tell you one thing that I just kind of discovered, and this is my expertise. I'm definitely not the best Dynasty player. I'm really not the best, really any player, but I am a professional competitive player, and I am good at some stuff. And one thing that I'm really good at is public perception, or you call it fantasy psychology. Oh my God, I clicked on that. Fantasy psychology, knowing when to zig when they zag. Look at these comments here on this article. Look at these comments, bro. One says bust. Okay, this is what people think of Trey Lance. No one's rooting for Trey Lance. And let me just tell I see a lot of similar stuff with Lamar Jackson out there. I never saw this with Carson Wentz coming out. Never saw this with Carson Wentz year 2. But we see it, sometimes we see it and sometimes we don't. And it's really not explainable. DK Metcalf, I did a video about him. It was really just basically he wasn't agile, but he was incredible 40 time. And so people just had to hate. And I did a Twitter search, pulled up like pages and pages of people telling me how DK Metcalf was going to be a bust. It's just insane that you spend this much energy on it. And this isn't a thing like, oh, let's all, kumbaya, let's all hold hands and be more positive. I don't give a crap about that. I'm trying to win fantasy. So this is strategy and fantasy. This is going to help us win leagues. Okay. Like if it's just not like, don't get it twisted. I'm not coming up here to say, hey guys, be nice to Trey Lance. I don't give a crap. Everyone should be nice, but I don't care about that. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about getting great value for Trey Lance, who has a lot of upside. I mean, this is crazy, bro. There's like 2 positive comments in here, and this is nothing. Don't make excuses. Let me find it. Already making excuses. Look at this 82. Bro, he just like said the truth. Like, he's probably true, right? Like, I mean, did he make like, if you had to say if this is true, like, or a fabrication, like a lie, what would you say? So Shane, like, is he lying about the finger or telling the truth?
No, I wouldn't say it's an excuse. I wouldn't say it's a lie at all, because there was a headline that I remember that he missed a game or was ruled out during the season because of that finger. So, I mean, that kind of checks out. And also, I mean, the accuracy issues were a thing, but I mean, I don't know. Is it an excuse? I don't think so. We also need to see how he plays.
Excuse is an opinion. I'm just talking about like, do you think is it a lie or the truth?
I think it's the truth.
Yeah, why would he lie? That's the thing. Yeah. So, but this is how people feel, though, is that he's making an excuse. See, excuse is a way to interpret what he's saying. So basically, like, they're calling Lance a wuss because Brett Favre threw with a broken thumb. Drew Brees didn't. I know that. If I had a nickel for every player who said I'm going to be much better this year because I was dealing with a minor injury last year, I'd be rich. Honestly, I don't think I seen that in the article. I don't think he said that.
Yeah,
exactly. No. So, like, I mean, it's probably implied, but yeah, I think this guy's just making up stuff. 92 thumbs up, 17 thumbs down. This is my favorite one. Let me find this one here. Here we go. My favorite comment.
I think I saw that one earlier. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, great. Another Baker. So at least this one has a lot of thumbs down. It's like, no, this is not the Baker Mayfield. Like, he went on TV and pouted. He said, I feel disrespected by the Browns. Bro, if you feel disrespected you should never say that. You should say that you were trash and you could have played better and like you understand the business. Like, how could you? Like, I'd feel disrespected if the Browns kept you as a fan. Like, I mean, they got a better quarterback. Like, I don't understand what this. So, anyway, I'm gonna be doing more research on public perception. I just noticed this, so it's not my final verdict, but I'm telling you right now, I've been hearing this, but I've been hearing this for a while now. So, Shay, not just like today, the past hour. No one's rooting for really Trey Lance.
Yeah, it's been
Like
a couple weeks. I've heard all of the media, a
a
lot of
couple of
podcasters
years
known
too,
this. Yeah, a couple
actually.
years too.
Yeah, before it's just the
Mhm.
thing. It's not just now. This is very similar to Lamar Jackson,
Yeah,
right?
eerily similar. Yep,
Wide
definitely.
receiver, he should be a wide receiver, and it's still the same kind of debates with Lamar Jackson, who's been pretty successful in his NFL career. But you never hear this for Carson Wentz the first 2 years, and didn't they come from the same school? Like,
Yeah, North
what's
Dakota
the
State.
excuse? Yeah, what's
Yeah, there's
so
no
like
excuse,
Trey
man.
Lance
I
went
don't know
number
what it is.
Trey
Yeah.
Lance went number 3 overall from the same school. Carson Wentz a number 2 overall from the same school. Yet no one's was talking trash about Carson Wentz the first 2 years. Like, oh, I like Carson Wentz. Look at this bust. Like the question of what a full year of Trey Lance as the starter will look like, it will look a lot like 8 and 9. I mean, it just kind of feels like this guy hasn't really watched the Niners play. Like
Yeah, I mean, they have a really good team.
Jimmy
Right.
Garoppolo is like you're on the edge of your seat waiting for him to crap the bed every game. That's I don't
That's true,
think
though, yeah.
I don't think they've seen a lot of Niner, at least not from a Niner fan perspective.
No, most definitely not. I would say if
Uh,
there's all these news reactions are negative, I would buy this guy, man. I'd buy him. I still believe in the talent. Last year I was saying the best thing for him is to rest 1 year. He's a raw guy. He kind of needs 1 year to figure it out and learn. I mean, sure, he played with the injury. It didn't look too great in his 2 3 games that he played, but now it's the reins are his. The team is his. He's got the reins to the offense. The team is his. Let's see what he can do. I would trade for him if the perception's low. That's what I would do. I like the upside. He's a great asset to have, I think.
so the network left a comment. Broke could be an exaggeration of the truth. So it was a chip, I believe, last year, which is technically a fracture, which is technically broken bone. So I think what happened is they played it down. There's only 2 things from this, and then rather be out fishing. Like again, I'm not trying to have this debate on what's fair fishing. It's all good. Derek Carr was drafted. Like I just don't care what's fair, what's not. Like, or maybe I do. I just don't care to talk about that. I'm trying to win in fantasy football, trying to say how can we use this to our advantage, right? I'm really not like these reporters are stupid. Television is stupid. They shouldn't talk about. I don't give a crap, man. People's gonna be doing stuff to get views. Let them talk. I'm trying to get Trey Lance at a value. That's the whole point of this. So there's 2 things from here that I'm going to take. Trey Lance reportedly played on a broken finger last year, affected him throughout the whole season. That's the report. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's fine. I believe it because I have a good BS meter. Like, why would he lie? He's just gonna make that up. Like, he's not that type of dude. Like, he's a great guy, I think. And then the public perception, as in like 90% of people are not rooting for him. I was just on like a Niners Facebook too. Like someone's like Jimmy G's better than Trey Lance. Like people say dumb stuff like that. Now, the bad side though, obviously I'm a Trey Lance too. The bad side is this is a risky player. He's a raw player, tons of upside. I'm rooting for him. I think he's going to be great. But he is risky. There is risk. And I think with this public perception, and right now, like we just had a mock draft yesterday. I got Trey Lance in round 11. And it's just public perception's kind of low. Like people don't even think this guy's going to start. I'm telling you, he is going to start. I'm telling you, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation is very weird. If they trade him, they might have some might affect the cap space. If they cut him, it may not affect the cap space at all. And so they're probably trying to trade him, but only for a pick that they might not get. They probably want to sell him. So the Niners probably want to sell Jimmy Garoppolo for a very high price, which I don't think they're going to get. So it's a very complicated situation. D Ford situation. So there's a lot going on. Debo Samuel. It's just a very complicated, fluid situation. But if you were having a draft soon, whether it's a dynasty startup or redraft or keeper league draft, it's like, man, you can get Trey Lance for dirt cheap. and it's just good value. I'm team wait for quarterback anyway. I'm
Yeah.
team late QB.
11th round. That's later than what you got him for last year in our draft party league, right? You got him like round 10 or something.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Because I know for sure
yeah,
last year was more of a debate or more of a legitimate debate as to who would start. But this year, if anything, it should be more clear that it's Trey
yeah. I
Lance.
mean, it's
That's
Trey
crazy.
Lance. Like it's Trey. Like nobody thinks Baker Mayfield's starting for the Browns. He's
Right.
on the roster. He's not a
Right.
horrible quarterback. Like he's there. Like he can be a starter on some teams. Nobody like nobody thinks that. I know it's more obvious, sure, but this, my job's not to say obvious dumb stuff. Like I'm trying to give you guys, at least some kind of edge here. All right, so it's all good. If you guys hate Trey Lance, it's fine.
We'll take him.
I'll take him around 12 now. There you
Right.
go. I'll get him around 12. It's like nothing. It's a free pick. It's like a free agent ad in
It's
fantasy
like a league
football.
winner type pick, honestly. He could
Yeah,
finish like a top 3, top 1 even quarterback. Who knows?
let's
He
just
has
say
that much
let's just
upside, but
say
you just never
top
know.
5, so nobody screen records you saying like outlandish stuff like that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
really good quarterbacks, but top
this is
5
true.
potential for sure. I want to look at this is PFF, Pro Football Focus. This is their strength of schedule. They adjust it for off-season moves and player grades and whatnot. So right now I am looking at the quarterback position. I don't look at tight end with this. Don't look at tight end. Wide receiver you may want to glance at, but don't look at tight end. The main things you want to look at is running back, defense, which no one likes defense, right? They think it's a joke, but if you're drafting defense, it's good, and quarterback. So for quarterbacks, I'm looking at this is the teams with the best schedule. A lot of hype with Daniel Jones. Should we get on board? I'm starting to kind of get on board with Daniel Jones as a QB2. Great schedule, added some O-line, added wide receiver. Saquon Barkley's 1 year removed from the big injury. Like, should we buy this at all? Because we can get Daniel Jones for free, basically, in super flex leagues and dynasty leagues, or are we still just like completely fading him?
In redraft, I'm interested because I mean he is a starting quarterback. He is pretty much assured a starting role in the
At least this
2022
year,
season,
yeah.
at least this year. In Dynasty, I gotta see it to believe it, man. I have not seen it from him yet. I know you're saying all those good things about how they boosted the offensive line, got him another
Yeah,
weapon. Saquon's
other
back.
fantasy analysts are saying this too, though, is what I'm worried about. This is honestly where I've heard about this.
What do you mean? Saying
Daniel
what?
Jones hype. I've heard it from other
Ooh,
fantasy analysts. And so
I
it's a
can't
free
buy it yet.
pick. You
I
can't buy it
cannot.
yet.
Well, maybe. I mean, depends on how dirt cheap in the price for strictly speaking for dynasty redraft. I'll buy it for a late round
If
pick.
it's like super flex or
If it's
some
super flex, yeah.
specialty. I mean,
Mhm.
you're not really like you don't need to draft him in like a 12 team one quarterback
No,
league.
right. Go get a better guy for sure.
I honestly like Danny Dimes. Dabble gonna do something to him. But this sounds weird. Like
It's a good
he's gonna
coach.
do something inappropriate. He's gonna do something gonna do something for him. I don't know.
Yeah, he did have a lot to do with the development of Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones does have traits like Josh Allen. Like he's a larger quarterback. He can run a little bit, but I mean, we'll see. I need to see it to believe it. That's the
Let's
bottom line
let's
for
not
Danny
read Dak's comment because it's gonna be a biased Cowboys comment. So
Dimes.
let's not
Of
read it.
course.
Dak, we have you coming up on the show pretty soon. We're going to hack your dynasty team. So stay tuned. Kickers and defense should still be in dynasty leagues. Changed my mind. Actually, I've come off of this. I don't like kickers and defenses in dynasty leagues. But I love the kickers in dynasty. So this is not going to be a huge argument on my side. If you like anything in your league, put it in there. I love it in redraft. I love having kickers and defenses in redraft. For dynasty, it's just kind of like nowadays, bro, used to only be in one dynasty league. Used to kind of be like, oh, dynasty, this is scary. Now everyone's like in 8 dynasty leagues. So it's like, I don't want to be worried about 8 kickers, right? 16 kickers and, 40 defenses, right? If you 8 times, 3 defenses on your team, right? What is that? 32, 24, something. Yeah,
24,
24.
something like that.
Yeah, it's like I just don't want like it's a lot. And then you're probably in some redraft leagues. You might play a little bit of DFS. So it's like it's just too much. I just want to get through it and just have more fun. So I don't like them in Dynasty anymore. I changed my mind. I grew up. That's what happened. I grew up. I changed my mind, but that's how it was, man. Like everybody was in one Dynasty league. Now there are so many. How many Dynasty leagues are you in? I need an
So I've actually
exact
trimmed it
number.
down. I've trimmed it down. I'm now
Trimmed
in
it down.
5 total.
From
Sleeper for 4 of them.
No, from how many?
Oh, from like I think 11 or something. So I trimmed it down quite a lot. But what I will say is
this said 11 dynasty leagues.
What I will say
wow,
is
that's
what
a
I will say
huge difference. By 11 and 5 is huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Wow.
What I will say is this: as far as kickers and defenses, I have one that has them in. It's a dynasty league, obviously, that has kickers and defenses. I want to keep one league with them just so I have a little bit of flavor. But then all the other ones, no thanks. I'm not interested.
You don't want it in all of them, that's for sure.
Because of the same reason you mentioned. I don't want to keep track of 50 kickers in 1 week.
I mean, it's like we have to live. Like we're also humans that have to live and survive, and we have to do like normal tasks in life. And then we just like, hey, here's 11 kickers, and
no
there's
thanks.
bye weeks. There's bye weeks. There's injuries. Like you may need to look at another 11. It's like it's a lot. So.
Could you imagine streaming defenses in 11 dynasties and the redraft?
It's hard as it is. It's hard as it is. Okay, so we're looking at strength of schedule. Love the Browns. Right, Browns have the easiest strength of schedule for quarterbacks. If you're a T-Law fan, Jaguars. They spent a lot of money, dumb money. On receivers and whatnot. But again, Trey Lance, I got at 11.02. Deshaun Watson, I got at 10.11. It's like Deshaun Watson's going super late in drafts too. Just something you should know. Obviously, this could change really quick, and a lot of people don't draft now. I realize that. I'm not a dummy, not that dumb. So I do know that, but something to note, right? I mean, he's accused of a lot of really bad stuff. So I mean, that automatically means public perception is going to be down, right? Like automatically. Of course, it's nothing like Trey Lance like that. I mean, come on, that's oh my god, it's Trey Lance. Like we got to hate on him even more. Like, no, but Deshaun Watson's proven, top 5 quarterback in the past. He's been, he's definitely proven when Trey Lance is not proven at all. So no, I get it. All right, and. I wanted to definitely look at this. So it's going to be the same team here we're looking at. The best strength of schedule for running backs, Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm looking at a low ceiling running back, but it's like at some point the price has got to be good. Can you see where Dameon Pierce went just as a comparison? My other
Dameon Pierce?
What color we're looking at? Green. Yeah, so we're looking at a 12-team redraft board. Right here.
Team 11, 4th to last pick or 5th to last pick.
No, that's Rashad Stevenson.
Right here.
That's Rashad Stevenson.
One over to the left.
Oh, so Dameon Pierce went super. Okay, so that's even way better of a pick. Wow, he fell tremendously. But I did get Miles Sanders at the end of round 6. I think that's really good value. I'd much rather have Dameon Pierce round 10, of course. But Miles Sanders, right? Why I hate him? Low ceiling, because Jalen Hurts is going to steal a lot of touches. They're going to sprinkle in some other running backs, but at some point, Miles Sanders, his unlucky touchdown streak has to end. I think only got 1 touchdown last year. So I am intrigued by him. If the price is right, as you can see here, he almost fell to round 7. Like the guys that went after him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Big Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks. A lot of these guys could have easily went before him. So if I'm reading this right, Miles Sanders could easily fall to round 7, even late round 7. Shoot, who knows? I mean, the next running back went 8.01, Tony Pollard. So it's like if Miles Sanders just keeps falling, I'll be intrigued for him. Oh, 0 last year, 0 touchdowns. Really? No receiving touchdowns, no passing touchdowns.
Wow.
We bring that up. Is that for real? I don't have him in any dynasty leagues, thankfully.
I don't either, but I mean that schedule and Jalen Hurts, we both think he's going to do pretty well. I mean, that could be a lot of.
He's going to steal a lot. I'm just saying, like, he should get at least 4 to 6 touchdowns, right? Like, that's all I'm really saying. Like 0. I thought it was 1. I could be mistaken.
Either way, 4 to 6 is a tremendous improvement from last
0.
year.
No,
and if he's going right ahead of a guy like Tony Pollard, I mean, that's a significant tier break. I think
could be. That's just one draft board, but yeah, like you could get him around 7, round 8. Again, low ceiling, not really a league winner, but definitely if you go like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, round 1, or you go Kelsey, maybe even if you want to dabble in the Josh Allen, early pick, then a guy like Miles Sanders could be at least RB2. Like he's not even going to be RB1. Like that's even if you're going kind of 0 RB, that's still not your RB1, even if you go 0 RB. But Amir was right. 0 touchdowns, 0 receiving, 0 rush. I don't know why I thought it was 1, but it was 1 less than that. 0. That's just really like when you say like that's not sustainable, and you're usually talking about like him balling out. Like this is not sustainable.
Yeah, in the opposite way, right?
A guy who's getting like double-digit carries per game is just,
no way.
Does 0 touchdowns? Like, come on,
has to be an anomaly.
There's so many weird guys who score multiple touchdowns that like the starting running back not to score a touchdown on the team that runs the ball the most. It's gonna probably be the Ravens this year, but last year I believe that was the Eagles. So it's like the team likes to run the ball. Something to think about. I'm not crazy for Miles Sanders, so I'm not pushing him hard. I was pushing some Trey Lance propaganda early on the podcast, though. That did happen. That was a fact. Miles Sanders propaganda not being pushed too hard. I'm not putting a lot of money behind that one, but it is there. I do have some posters made up. Just a little sticker, something just in case. The Trey Lance, though, I got billboards. I'm ready to go with that. Like, I'm pushing that all the way. I got my top 6 dynasty wide receivers. Now, one thing that I don't really do is dynasty startup rankings. I just kind of find it a waste of time. I don't have a lot of time. It's like I get that it does help people. Having a guide could be very helpful when you're drafting, especially in a dynasty startup where it's just a lot to process. So people do like that, to have at least something to go off of. But it's like there's so many, like I was just saying, there's so many factors, there's so many different directions to go, and so much going on. You can often trade picks and do live trading in a startup draft. And there's so much going on. Are did you draft an old player already? Like if you did that, you may just want to go win now. But I do have at least a little bit here, which is my top 5 dynasty wide receivers. Let me know if you agree or disagree, chat and Shane. So at number 1, we have Jamar Chase. Just upside, just too great. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. He's got the age and he's proven. We got number 3, CeeDee Lamb. Highly debatable here because it's just purely off age. I'm ranking him ahead of Cooper Kupp. But if you're in win now mode, you definitely want to go Cooper Kupp over CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I would, I don't know how you would decide that per se, or you could decide that before you draft. I mean, Cooper Kupp, you could pretty much rank number 1 maybe somehow if you're. This is not even a startup rank. This is just dynasty rankings overall. So yeah, if you're win now, wouldn't Cooper Kupp be the best chance to win now over any of these guys?
Yeah, you can make the argument Cooper Kupp would be your redraft WR1.
Yeah, which is pretty much everyone's wide receiver 1 in redraft. And at number 5, probably the most controversial is going to be Debo versus Devontae Adams. Now, I have them almost tied, but if it was me, Like, for sure, I'm going Debo over Devontae Adams. 3 years difference of age. Debo's 3 years younger, and I think he's gonna stay on the Niners. The Niners, they just gotta work out a few things before they can give this man a contract and work this out. He hasn't been traded yet, right? What are we going off of? Like, come on, guys. Are we gonna play this game again where you're going off of, like, what some weird reporters are saying about the Niners that never comes true? So let's just chill because Matthew Stafford's not on the Niners. Mac Jones, it wasn't drafted by the Niners. Right? None of the stuff they say is true. And guess what? The draft came and went, and Debo is still on the Niners. Could he get traded? Could he hold out? I mean, for a little bit, sure. Or could he get traded? Yeah, there's a chance. I'm telling you, it's unlikely. I think Debo's going to stay, and I think he's going to produce. I mean, once the cat's out the bag, like, you can't put it back in, man. The bully was unleashed last year. He was great. And then Devontae Adams, man, I still like him a lot, but I'm going to rank Debo ahead. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I agree with the first two. I think those are, most people will have Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson in some order. CeeDee Lamb is also my Dynasty wide receiver 3, so I have no issues with that. I think some people may, as you kind of mentioned, it's a little bit of a spicier, more up for debate, I guess, if you will. Cooper Kupp, fine with that. Debo and Devontae, I think there's a pretty big gap in not just, I'm not going to say gap in talent, but more like a gap in just like safety, I guess, or how good I feel, how strong or secure I feel about my receiver asset after Cooper Kupp. Because Debo Samuel, I mean, again, like you said, the whole contract thing, while you are saying like we shouldn't worry and whatever, it's still, he still could get traded. We don't know. He could hold out, blah, blah, blah. Also, he might not even be used as the same, the wide back type of position that they were used in.
He will. But
You think he will?
But yeah, he will. But this is much safer though. I think Carr and
Yeah.
Devontae Adams will make sweet music. Yeah.
Right. So I think if there's one change I would make, it would probably be putting Devontae Adams over Debo for the security. But I don't hate it, because I think if you really think that Debo is going to be that wide back again, upside's probably higher with Debo Samuel.
But if you're not a big scaredy cat and you're not afraid to lose and you're going for the best dynasty wide receiver, I think that's Debo Samuel.
Go for Debo then?
That's the thing. And if you're scared, I think Devontae Adams is the guy, but it's not that far apart. It's not like this is a dumb decision. This is more risky. But the 3 years does it for me. If Devontae Adams was 26, 25, then I think that's a no-brainer. You got to take it. Like, boom. You got to take it.
Yeah. I like the list, though. It's a good list. Good.
Debo doesn't want to play RB. Now, did he? They said he said that, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if that's like how true that is. I did hear reports of him saying that. I don't know, man.
It's such a dicey situation. I don't know what to believe, what not to believe anymore. At this point, I've heard so much stuff.
That's how I feel. I mean, I feel like, like, let's say I have an opinion. I'm like, Sushane, man, I'm not, like, I'm too grown up, man. I'm not doing that. Sushane gives me $120 million. I'll be like, let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right.
Put a just don't even have a WR before my name. Just switch it to RB, baby. Let's go. I'll just wear a shirt. I just won't even wear a number. I'll just wear 2 letters on my jersey that says RB. Let's go. Who's here?
Money
Everybody.
talks.
How many people's in the locker room right now? 120. Everyone gets a high five. Let's go. So I'm just saying, like, even if this is 100% true, 100 million, that could change your mind really quick, because I think
100%.
that's what this is about, is that he wants to get a second contract, which basically every athlete does. Every athlete wants a second contract. It's usually a second contract, then a ring. Like, that's usually all the get drafted, make it to the league, second contract, ring.
The perfect career arc. I hear you.
Yeah, it's how it is. Like, which is, I mean, it makes sense. Like, it totally makes sense. It's probably what I would want. Exactly what I would want. He wants to be paid like a wide receiver. I do too. I mean, yes, right? Of course. Yeah, of course.
I'll take that AJ Brown money right now. Give it to me.
I express how I feel. Who's the AJB comment? I still think AJB is a top 5 dynasty wide receiver. I don't at all. I've already said this plenty of times. AJ Brown, it's just like one of those public perception things where people are down on some players like Lamar Jackson, Trey Lance, but people still have these AJ Brown fantasies, these AJ Brown ideologies. And it's like, I mean, he was good. He showed a lot of glimpses of him being elite and a star, but he's not elite. He's not a star. And now he's going. I mean, how do you guys feel about Jalen Hurts? Like, I mean, as long as he's starting, he'll put up some pretty good fantasy points. I think we all think that. But as far as him, like, keeping the job past this year, being a great passer, I think we all have our concerns with that. So it's like, no, sorry. Like, he's even in an even worse situation. And the
Top 10, you
Eagles,
can make the case, I think.
oh yeah, top 10 because of his age. I think he's top 10, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
top 5 is too high, though. Too much. Too
It's just, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's even in the question. And I am a little bit down on AJ Brown more than others. Like, he just never put it together, guys. Like, I don't know. Would you rather have AJ Brown or DK Metcalf right now, Dynasty?
Oh, God. I was going to ask you that question.
DK Metcalf for me.
I think I'm leaning Metcalf. Like 55, 45%. It's close, but I think I'm going DK, man.
Also, I can get Metcalf a little bit cheaper than I think he's worth. Yeah. I think I get him for a discount. That's what I want to say.
That's also
my top 5 dynasty quarterbacks, and this is it. We're not doing the other positions. I just kind of wanted to talk about this. I don't know why. I just had a feeling like this is important. So number 1's Josh Allen. There's gonna be no arguments there. Number 1 in all formats. And then I think it really go any way. Number 2, I got Patrick Mahomes, top 5 dynasty quarterbacks. Number 3, Herbert. Number 4, Joe Burrow. And number 5, I got Lamar Jackson. Thoughts, criticism, hate, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know.
So for me, you can call me stubborn if you want to, or not changing with the times. That's fine. I still have Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2. If Josh Allen is much better than Patrick Mahomes again this year without Tyreek Hill, I want to give Sky Moore a chance too. I want to see how this offense works with Juju and everyone. So if Josh Allen is way better than Mahomes again, then I'll make the move up. That's fine. But for now, I'm still keeping Mahomes because he is just that otherworldly talent. I think he's just really just something special.
I don't get that, bro. Josh Allen, look, they're both keeping their jobs. We already know that. Like,
yeah,
it's not, we're not worried about that like Jalen Hurts. All right. But this is Kelsey's pretty much last year as an elite tight end. He's getting there. He's getting up there in age. Tyreek Hill is gone. One of the reasons Patrick Mahomes was so good is that he had Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, and this is Dynasty, and those guys are going to be gone. So you can disagree with me with Kelsey, but what is it? 2 years, 2.5 years?
Yeah,
like he's not a vampire. He's not going to live on forever. And Tyreek Hill is gone for sure. So it's like, you have to subtract that from his value. Like, that doesn't add, like, oh, Tyreek Hill got traded. Oh, like that. Oh, it's like, it does nothing. No, it does something. And Kelsey's getting up there in age. That is something. But Josh Allen, I mean, this guy can do it on the ground. He puts up elite running numbers. He can score rushing touchdowns. He's so hard to take down. Like, so he'll get you fantasy points regardless of what's going on. And this team doesn't have really a good running back, but the one time they splurge a little bit, like they spend just a little bit. They're really cheap with the running back, but the time they splurge just a little bit, they get an extremely good, a small pass catching back. You know what I mean? They don't get a big bruiser. They get Dalvin Cook's brother. It's just an amazing pass catching running back. So it's like, in fantasy, you get like Josh Allen's got to be number 1 for me. I get, you can like Patrick Mahomes more, but I mean, as far as fantasy points, man, that's a hard sell for me. I think ranking Patrick Mahomes number 2, I'm being generous because I feel like him and Justin Herbert is like, this year is going to be no difference.
A little closer. Yeah.
Almost no difference. Like, Justin Herbert might have more rushing yards than Patrick Mahomes. He's a really good runner. So it's like,
that's true. He also bulked up a ton this offseason, Justin Herbert. He's now 245 pounds, I think, which is insane. I was going to ask you one thing. How do you feel about, because I like these top three quarterbacks a lot. How different, or like how, where's the gap between Joe Burrow and these three guys? How far off is he? Because I'm a
Yeah,
big
there's
Joe
a
Burrow guy.
gap. Yeah, it's these three is tier one. And
Yeah.
then there's a gap. Yes. And I'm getting some comments here, which I kind of like. So Boyd says, give me Lamar and Kyler's rushing upside over Burrow in Dynasty, but he's my QB6 and he's about Burrow. So slight tweak. Enjoy the show so far. Keep it up. Thank you. Okay. So here's the thing, though. I don't like Kyler Murray's attitude. He's currently like one foot is holding out, one foot isn't. You guys worried about Debo. Worry about Kyler too. Okay. like,
Right.
like the concern with Debo is fine. Some of the concern with Trey Lance is warranted stuff, but also be concerned with Kyler Murray because he pouted. I saw it with my eyes. He pouted the last game. He gave up in the middle of this is what I'm seeing. He gave up in the middle of the game. If you're watching the Manning cast, it was freaking awesome because Russell Wilson's like, give everyone a high five, Kyler. Go in there, tell him we're still in it. And he's just looking down, crying and pouting on the ground. He gave up. When a team gives up. And it gave up. And it was just like, and is he gonna play baseball? I mean, that's probably out the question, but does he want a new contract? Yes. Is he at OTAs? No, he's not. There's worry there. That's the thing. Lamar Jackson hasn't really signed that new contract. I mean, I really like him. So I think him above Joe Burrow is fine. But here's the trajectory. Joe Burrow and that Bengal poop, big stinky tiger poop O-line. This is the trajectory these two are going. Wow, way up. Joe Burrow's only played 30 NFL games. He got absolutely destroyed. It was embarrassing. It was hard to watch. I mean, this is one, a top prospect, like the best quarterback we've ever seen in college, at least stat wise. No one's going to beat those numbers. And he's just getting pummeled, man. He's got no O-line. Then he still doesn't really have an O-line. They get one offensive lineman to kind of help and doesn't really help. But they go get Jamar Chase, which winds up kind of helping the O-line. This man goes from that to being a joke, to being the worst team in his division, to going to the Super Bowl and probably one pass away from winning the Super Bowl. So it's that's Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson, a lot more complications. It's roller coaster. You don't know if it's going up, down, sideways. You don't know if it's one of those roller coasters that might just start reversing trajectories or go upside down or stop. When I worked at an amusement park, sometimes it just stopped at the top of the loop. And then, my buddies would make fun of him on the microphone. And it's you don't know where this Lamar Jackson roller coaster is going. I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, but there's a lot to worry about there with him. Now, if you want to rank him 4 and Burrow 5, I think that's really close. But you can't stop this trajectory. And by the way, man, look at how they got so many lines. They got 4 new linemen, 3 real O-linemen in free agency. I'm talking about real linemen, and then they drafted another lineman. We're talking about real linemen, not the garbage they had before. We're talking about real linemen. They got Joe Mixon. They got 3 great wide receivers. This team is really good. And Joe Burrow, man, his trajectory just keeps going up and up. So it's tough though. I mean, I think there's a debate, but Kyler, I'm just really worried about, man. There's just the Cardinals are weird. Is Hopkins gonna really play? Keep playing? Did he fall off? It's just he's injured now. He's taking now he's the PEDs. And it's man, there's just a lot of worry there, man. A lot of weird stuff with the Cardinals. But Kyler, he might be my number 6.
Yeah, he could make the argument for number 6, 7, something like that. But he's also not in my top 5. There's simply too many more. There's more questions than answers with Kyler Murray. And on top of that, he's never even finished as a top 5 quarterback, I don't think. So
pretty sure he has. No, he has in
has he? Okay.
2020. I think he was number 3.
Number 3
or something.
Okay,
or at least he was really good with points per game as well. No, he was in 2020. He was really good.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
All I know is the last 2 seasons, maybe the last season at least, tailed off. He got injured a different year. Again, it's just more questions than answers. I still have questions about Lamar Jackson's longevity, but in terms of the roller coaster, right now it's on the up, I think, because he's getting better. getting better. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it probably could last a couple more years at least. Joe Burrow, of course, way much on the ascent and no roller coaster for him. It's just going to go up and up and up. I would take all 5 of these guys and maybe a couple more ahead of Kyler Murray. I guess maybe like Dak versus Kyler for me would be a debate, but Lamar versus Kyler, it's clearly Lamar.
Deshaun Watson is up there for me.
Sure.
And then I'd probably have Trey Lance at about 8. And then you also got Russell Wilson. He's a for sure thing. He's not as young as these guys, though. So that's really the
sure, but he's still 32. I mean, he has at least 3-4 great seasons, you would think.
Enough for you to make a run in Dynasty, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Bob brings up a good point. I mean, not only was the O-line bad for Lamar last year, Bob, but it was just an array of things, from the quarterbacks getting injured to every single running back getting injured to it was like a like when a lot of things click right and you just see it, like how the Patriots clicked to make that comeback from the foul. Like when you just see everything clicking, everyone clicking, right? The problem with the Ravens was that when one thing clicked, nothing else clicked, right? It was either an injury with the O-line or the O-line just straight up playing like poop. Lamar had a few bad games, like all on him. But then when Lamar was just on it, like really trying, the other guys were dropping balls or like something, or the play calling was off, or sometimes just getting rushed super quick. And I mean, losing all 3 of your running backs is pretty bad when you lose the number 1, number 2, and number 3 running back. Because you can replace the number 1 guy, but it's like, oh crap, like you have to replace every single running back on your roster. And I guess the number 4 running back, they hated Tyson Williams. They hated that guy.
Not a fan. I'm also not a fan.
I mean, I drafted him,
Well,
I looked smart. I looked smart during my draft videos, like, oh my God, that really worked out for you. And then the Ravens were like, nah, this is not a guy. Like, we hate him. We hate him. Okay, so I did want to mention this. So these guys are talking amongst themselves, but they did mention this 2023 draft class. What do you think about this? Oh, this is right for this. Okay. So it's like, I just saw this on TikTok. By the way, I'm on TikTok now, guys. I'm making videos, minimal cringe, guaranteed minimal cringe on there. There's cringe, it's very minimal. So follow me on there. But I've been watching TikTok. I seen this one post. It was pretty cool, man. And I'm in theory, I think it's perfect, and I think it will work in real life. So what do you think about this strategy? Let's say you're having a startup draft, right? Especially this year, but I'll elaborate. You trade away all your early picks, even some mid-round, like early to mid-round picks, all of them, right? And you just stock up on rookie picks. And I think this works great if the next upcoming rookie draft class is incredible, like 2023 is, right? And so we saw a pretty good draft class with 2020, and even Jonathan Taylor, Joe Burrow, guys like that, with Justin Jefferson, I believe, as well.
Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, J.K. Dobbins, Akers.
Exactly. See, imagine if you got all those guys, right? And like you're going to hit on a few picks too in your startup draft as well. That's the thing. So I think that's a good strategy. Would you do something like that in a startup draft if you're doing a startup draft today, let's say?
I've done it before, actually. There was one league where Dak sent you. Speaking of Dak, we'll get to him and his team later. But there was one league that he sent you, and he said to rank or to rate, give grades for all the teams. And you actually gave me an incomplete grade because I had no players, maybe like a guy like Chase Claypool or something. And I basically had every single pick from 2022, 23, and 24. So I've done it before. It's very profitable. You got to have a little bit of patience, but it's very profitable if you're patient.
You're taking advantage of the draft hype, right? Because guys want to draft.
Of course, yeah.
Drafting is the most fun part of fantasy football. So you have to take advantage of these people wanting to have fun.
Right. The plan would be to trade about maybe 50 to 60% of those picks.
Did you freeze? Can you hear me? I think you froze. This guy froze. You look scary right now, Frozen. I'm gonna text Sushane. You froze. See what he's. Oh, he's coming back. All right, he's coming back. All right. Yeah, 2023 class is stacked. I don't have the rankings, guys. I don't even do dynasty rankings as far as startup. I do dynasty rookie rankings, and those will come out. I really like Matthew Stafford. I think Derek Carr is underrated. Aaron Rodgers might be underrated. Oh, here we got a new Sushane here. Can we
Sorry
kick
about
old
that.
Sushane? Ban from studio. Kick from studio. Let's hopefully this works right. Here we go. Kick and remove if you want to
And
prevent. There we go. It worked. I kicked the old Sushane. The
okay,
one
beautiful.
Yeah, I can't answer those guys. People asking questions where I rank quarterbacks. But yeah, let me tell you guys that are a bit underrated. Trey Lance, we already talked about that. Public perception, a little bit underrated. Deshaun Watson, as of right now, he's got 22 accusers. That could disgust a lot of people. He could be underrated. Matthew Stafford, I like him a lot, a little bit underrated. What do you think about Justin Fields, my fellow co-host here? This guy he's underrated. I like him, but he also makes me sick to my stomach and throw up. This is the one time where I get scared. I'm like, should I draft Justin Fields in a redraft? It's like a super flex redraft or dynasty league. And I honestly, I don't get scared a lot of times. I'm really scared of Justin Fields. So as a former Bears fan, I need your input on him.
Okay, here's my honest take of Justin Fields. I'll take you all the way back to the beginning as well, from how I ranked him coming into the class. All right. So I saw him last year, watched a lot of his games. The talent, the superstar talent, like what we think the upside when you talk about Trey Lance is, that is shown in Justin Fields. He has that. I promise you, he has that upside. That's real.
He looked great in college, in my
He
opinion.
looked great in college, and there was a couple moments, I should say, during games last year where I said, okay, hold on, this guy actually does have some serious upside. But I ranked him below Mac Jones coming into the draft after
We're
seeing
talking
the landing
fantasy.
spots and everything in fantasy. Ranked him way below before they played a game after the NFL draft when I knew Patriots versus the Bears, only because he's on the Bears. I'm as terrified as you are with what's going to happen around him. If Justin Fields is not a savior of the franchise, he's not going to work. It's such a high bar to reach for him. I get why I get the fear, man. I get it.
Yes or no? Are the Bears tanking this year?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
I think so too, which is scary for a young quarterback that we're talking about. One for you drafting on your dynasty team. That scares me. Like, is this gonna hurt Justin Fields long term? So
yeah, because you know what they say about the rookie quarterback contract. That's when you splurge in free agency. You get the receivers, the star power, and everything. You build the offense around the quarterback before you have to give him the big payday. But man, that's not going to happen until. I mean, people are saying the Bears have a good cap space, not in the next offseason for the 2023 season. But I mean, how much better is the team going to be? I don't think so. Like maybe you're thinking at least 2024, 2025, where the team is actually good.
it has happened, and it has happened, and the only time I really can recall that has happened was maybe the Dolphins, when they splurged on their defense, and it actually got good overnight, which I doubted. But it's a rare. Let's just say 1 out of 30 chance. So yeah, it's gonna probably take a year at least. They got to get the guys, and they got to get the right guys. And the Bears had a problem doing that. Like they had problems like cutting paychecks and playing players. Like they just had that. So first they got to do that. Next they got to gel. And on top of that, Justin Fields actually has to be a good quarterback, which is to be seen. Yeah, I've seen him put good fantasy numbers here and there, but I'm terrified of him. There's another this is another tough question. What about Tua? And I guess I'm proving that I could be scared about another guy. I am lower on Tua. I can't get behind it. And, I may have some FOMO. I may be like, oh man, I should have got behind Tua, but I feel like I can win a league without, I don't want to have FOMO of every single player, fear of missing out on every single player. And I think Tua is just one of the guys I got to let go. Zen move, let him go. I'm not picking Tua, probably not picking Justin Fields either. And I got to go another direction. Like I said, I'm usually team late round quarterback anyway. All right, but I don't think I'm going for Tua. I'd probably rather get Derek Carr later. I mean, you get Mac Jones for free. Um, Even Tom Brady's going late in drafts, right? I mean, this is not necessarily dynasty. I'm talking like kind of summing up dynasty, keeper, and redraft all in one.
Yeah. I mean, man, so I'm definitely higher on Justin Fields than I am Tua, but I'm kind of scared about both. I mean, the upside with Tua at least is the whole Mike McDaniel thing. They kind of have some reminiscent pieces. Tyreek Hill's
He's
there.
got a ton of weapons. What do you Justin Fields is Darnell Mooney is his number one receiver.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't
really bad,
yeah, Cole Kmet is no Travis Kelce.
I'm saying for
right?
Tua though. For Tua,
I'm saying Tua has you just compared both quarterbacks and you talked about the OC. I'm talking about the big difference is that Tua has amazing star power next. He has Mike Gesicki, he has Tyreek Hill. Yeah. I mean, and then of course in the off like he's gonna manufacture ways to make those guys work. Mike McDaniels, yeah, for sure.
Exactly, right. Because it's very reminiscent of how the 49ers, I'm not going to, buy into that whole thing where he's just going to transfer the 49ers offense into Miami, but there's some similarities, some resemblances, such as Mike Gesicki, Tyreek Hill, even for it's like a deep third, like kind of like a running back, wide out type stuff. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, it's nerve-wracking for both. That's the bottom line answer. It's Fields, Tua. How about this question here? Would you rather have Zach Wilson or Justin Fields in Dynasty?
My answer is Zach Wilson.
Yeah. If you asked me a year ago, like right after the draft, I would have said Justin Fields. But I think now I'm kind of having some belief in Joe Douglas. So I would go Zach Wilson also.
Yeah, I'm going Zach Wilson with that one.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start Hack My Dynasty in a second. Let's see, we got another question. Joka asks, would you keep or trade James Robinson in Dynasty? You're saying trade, Shane, but I don't think you can get anything for him.
Yeah, whatever you can, if you can get something legit.
Give this guy a baseline? Like what's kind of the low end deal that you would smash accept?
I would say any second round pick is a for sure no brainer. Maybe once. Oh man, it's tough for the thirds because it's really hard. You don't really.
What about a 2023 third? You want a little more? 2022 thirds.
I'll go 2/3 in 2023. Okay, so I'll take that.
2022, you need more than a 2022 third and smash accept on any second round.
Yeah.
If you get a 2023 second, that's gonna basically be you're gonna get a younger James Robinson right there.
Offhand. Yeah.
It's great. Robinson. Yeah, it's that's good.
Yeah.
Like seeing Burrow up there after coming back from injury and all the reports of struggles of him and Chase in the preseason. Yeah, he proved me wrong. I did not rank Jamar Chase high in redraft, so I feel dumb with that. Thank God I didn't touch my dynasty rankings. So that was good. At least I did screw it. I still had Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver, and I liked him in dynasty, but I do regret not ranking him higher in redraft because he won a lot of people fantasy leagues when the playoffs came. In the beginning of the season, he was great, and in the playoffs, he was great. He was clutch. All right, so we have a segment, and you guys can hit me up on Twitter. Use the hashtag #HackMyDynasty. And send me a screenshot of your team. I like how everyone's on Sleeper. I love Sleeper. Keep making those updates, Sleeper. Maybe get rid of those sound effects. A little bit too much. They need to just chill off the sound effects. That's really my main gripe with sleeper. Just chill off the sound effects. When I reach for one spot for a guy, when I draft Sky Moore 1.07, don't give me the sound effect. It's too much.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's too
Not a fan of that.
much. Okay, so what? He's ranked 9th overall. I draft him 7th. Big deal. Whoop-de-doo. Don't give me that sound effect. Other than that, we like sleepers. So we're doing a segment, Hack My Dynasty. We think about the little graphic I whipped up.
I like it.
We're
It
gonna
looks
roll
good.
with that. We'll just switch up the player, but I see a lot of Kamara today, so
Yeah, we're gonna talk
put
about him.
on.
Oh, yeah.
Hack My Dynasty. All right, you guys ready? Let's see some hype in the chat. What emojis we're looking for? Couch emojis, thumbs up emojis, fire emojis. This is Hack My Dynasty, guys. All right, let's do it. So the first guy we have is Dak. I mean, obviously, huge Cowboys fan, and this is his Dynasty squad here. I'm not going to go over every single player. For those that watching the video podcast can see it, but for the audio podcast, I'll just briefly say who he's got. He's got Staffy, he's got Henry, Kamara, Cup. He's got Jahan Dotson, Amari Cooper, Kittle, James Conner, Brees Hall. Wow, it's a stack. Trey Lance.
It's a good team.
On the bench, he's got guys like Deshaun Watson, and bench is not that good, but it's okay for Dynasty League. He's got some depth. Starters are absolute fire, though.
Dawson Knox. That's a good one.
Dawson Knox on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him that much, to be honest. Don't think he did that good last year. And Taxi Squad's not that good. He's got Rondell Moore. He's got Romeo. And he's got no early 2023 picks. So I don't see a lot of no first rounders till 2025. So first thing we're going to do with this is assess the team. So like, you know, we go in the back room, head coach, you know, I'm the head coach, Susain's the GM. We're like, all right, let's be honest. Where's the franchise looking? Like assess the team from just a non-biased point of view. How are we looking at like what's going on with this squad right now?
Well, clearly, like you said, he doesn't have a first round pick until 2025. That means you've got to win now. You got to do whatever you can, maximize your team without those first round picks and just go for it, right? And fortunately, you do have the team to do that. You got a thick quarterback room, some great running backs, some good tight ends. Wide receivers, you have a couple good ones, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper. The depth, we'll talk about that, but that's pretty much the biggest weakness here, I would say, would be the wide receiver core. And a 3 wide receiver, this is PPR, I would assume, yeah?
Let's assume everything's PPR.
Let's assume everything's PPR.
Yeah,
3 wide receivers, 2 flex. 2 regular flex, I'm saying, which you
it is,
probably
and it's
want
super
to.
flex. Yeah, and it's super flex.
Yeah. So you definitely want to start more receivers in your lineup because it's PPR, and that is the one position you're kind of lacking in. But you have a lot of pieces for win now. I think we're gonna go for it. That's the direction we're headed in Couch. I think we're gonna go for it.
Win now mode. All right. Yeah. So should he go get a vet wide receiver?
Yeah. So look at his quarterback room, right? He's got Matthew Stafford, Trey Lance, Deshaun Watson, and Jared Goff. Now I know Jared Goff is not the sexiest name, but for a win now team, he's starting this year. He's going to start this year for the whole season. And as a quarterback 3, maybe Trey Lance, you know, obviously we said he's kind of an unknown. Quarterback 3, quarterback 2 type of thing, that would work. Matthew Stafford, great quarterback, good for your win now type of team. And now when we look at Deshaun Watson, he might get suspended, right? Do we know for sure? Do we have a guess? What % chance would you say Deshaun Watson misses significant time next season?
50%. That's how unsure I am. 50%. But what I'm more sure on is he would get suspended a long time. So yeah. I'm expecting the whole year at least.
So right now, today, Deshaun Watson has a lot of value. And you have 4 quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's exactly what I said, 50% chance. Maybe his value's cut in half. I mean, he has
So
more value than he would if he got suspended, but he's got way less value once Roger Goodell says we're not suspending him at all. So he has significant value, but I'm telling, like I told you, man, he's got public perception from league to league is going to vary, but a lot of people's going to hate Deshaun Watson, right? Like, let's just be real. You see, like the memes and stuff, how people talk about him, or on Twitter, the disgust, and it's like that's out there in every league. So it does, and that does hurt his value. But he does have some value though in a super flex league. He does, like, there is some people that really like him.
I hear you, but I think enough people like him to the point where you can find a guy in your league who's willing to trade
Who
for
needs a quarterback? Quarterback,
right.
Okay, you need to find a quarterback desperate guy.
Sure. But the thing is, why trade Deshaun Watson? Because I think of the 4 quarterbacks you have, he's probably the least likely to make an impact for your team next year, and you want to win next year, right? So what I'm suggesting is that you can trade Deshaun Watson. This year. Sorry.
This year, okay. Yeah. 2022, yeah.
Right. So what I'm suggesting is if you can trade Deshaun Watson and get 2 good, ascending receivers. I was talking to Drew earlier about, some who would be a match, right? Maybe give me, because
yeah, that's what I want to know,
right? So we said, get two of these guys from this group of players here. I'll list them out for you. Rashad Bateman, young ascending receiver, probably going to cost you less than what his ceiling actually is. Elijah Moore, talented guy. People are a little bit afraid because Garrett Wilson's in town. Maybe you can get him for a little bit less than what he's worth per se. Juju Smith-Schuster, Chiefs guy. He's still pretty young, only 25 years old. Big improvement from Patrick Mahomes or Ben Roethlisberger to Patrick Mahomes. Christian Watson, young receiver. Sky Moore, Chris Olave, and then also an interesting one, kind of one of these like sneaky, productive guys who not the sexiest name on the market, but he's going to give you that safe floor and good production, Hunter Renfrow. So if you can get 2 of those guys for Deshaun Watson, all of a sudden your wide receiver core and your depth becomes really strong, and now you have a real good chance to start competing. Because right now you have Jahan Dotson as your 3rd best receiver. I'm not buying that too much, man.
Yeah, you need a receiver. Out of the guys you named, actually, those only 2 perfect names, and that is number 1 Juju and number 2 Renfrow. Because like a lot of the other names you named off are really good, but that's just, to me, general dynasty advice, not necessarily win now. Juju and Renfrow is definitely win now and discount, because Juju dances on TikTok, bad public perception, everyone hates him. And then you got Hunter Renfrow, who people were just starting to like, but then they got Devontae Adams. So you're gonna get those 2 for cheap. Great win now guys. The other ones are just kind of general dynasty advice, buy Rashad Bateman. That's more of a win later team too, as well, because he's so young. But now he's projected to be the wide receiver 1. So you do need wide receivers. They score more than running backs in PPR. And Dax here, tell us if this is non-PPR. Also, probably just get out of here if this is not. Don't send us non-PPR teams. You guys making it complicated. Do at least half PPR is fine, but come on, like let's do something. Yeah, I think with some wide receivers, this team could take it.
Yeah. The only other thing I would suggest, and again, we can talk about this, or this point will be more important in the next rebuild we do, but he does have Alvin Kamara. I think you wanted to talk about this a little because we have him on the graphic. But I think for cheap, you don't have any of those 1st or 2nd round picks, but you do have your 3rds and your 4ths. I think you should go and get Abram Smith. You need to win. If Alvin Kamara plays, great, you're in good shape. He should ball out. Good for you. But if he doesn't play and he does get in trouble with his legal situation, could Abram Smith fill in? Marquez Callaway did not last Michael Thomas, but at the running back position, it's a lot easier to fill in that production. Khalil Herbert did it with Montgomery. Alexander Madison year after year with Dalvin Cook out. I could see a situation or a scenario where Abram Smith comes in for Alvin Kamara and does pretty well. So another recommendation, I would say, go get Abram Smith for cheap as well, just for that security.
Yeah, Abram Smith's like a 5th round draft.
Exactly. You can get it for
round
dirt cheap, almost nothing,
Yeah. Dustin says Nacho Man's looking rough. The more rough you look, the better dynasty advice you give. Those what I've been noticing so far. It's a pretty strong trend. So just keep that in mind, guys. You look at if you look at some guy doesn't look rough at all, as you would say. Bad dynasty advice. Maybe good redraft advice, but not good dynasty advice. All right, next team. So, by the way, guys, we're doing Hack My Dynasty, new segment where people send me a screenshot of their squad and their assets, their draft picks from the dynasty team, and then we tell you what direction to go. Just tweet me at Fantasy Couch. Use the hashtag Hack My Dynasty. All right, next up we got Nemo from Twitter. He's got guys like Tom Brady, Eckler, Cam Akers, Metcalf, CD, Hawkinson, A-Rob, Gage, kicker, Tyler Bass, Ramsey, Russell Wilson, Kamara,
another
Darrell
Kamara.
Henderson, J-Rob. All right, some other players I see. I like the Tim Patrick, AJ Brown. Oh, can we trade him, please?
I think that's DJ Moore too, right?
DJ Moore as well. Yes, that's a big piece. No first rounds next year, but you have a bunch of second rounders. 1, 2, 3 second rounders next year, and that's it for next year. So you got this guy just lives off second rounders. This is so this guy is like a fetish of his. It's taboo, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, peep this. 11 second round picks in a row. So the next 3 years this guy drafts is nothing but second rounders. He doesn't have a third, doesn't have a first, nothing. All second rounders.
So you know what that tells me, Couch? Win now. That's all it means.
Win now. Well, he's got a great squad. First,
he's got a good squad too, but no first rounders. That's the end all be all sign for me that you got to win now. Because what are you gonna do with those seconds? How many of those are actually gonna hit? If you use all of them, all 11, you're hoping like what? Like 5 are not gonna hit. No way. 3, 2. Like, come on, man.
Less than 50% of second round picks hit.
So let's call it 4. That's not enough.
4 out of what?
Out of 11, right? He had 3 in 2023.
Yeah, 4 out of 11. Yeah, 4 out of 11 will hit. Yes.
I don't know about that strategy. What I will say is you do have the pieces to win now, Nemo. This is also kind of it's win now, but it's young too. That's the unique thing about this, right? You have Tom Brady, who's old. Russell Wilson is older, fine. But Eckler's pretty good. Kamara's pretty good. They're a little older, I guess. But look at the receivers on this team. They're all young. You can win with them today. You can win with them tomorrow. You can probably win with them in 2024. That would be 3 years from now, 2 years from now. So there's a lot of things to like about the team. Like I said with the other team, Dak's team, you have Kamara. On this squad, it's a little bit more vital to get Abrams because your running back situation is not as strong. The other team had Derrick Henry, James Conner, and I think one more, Breece Hall. This guy only has Austin Eckler, and then it's like Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. So for this team, Nemo, if Alvin Kamara goes down or does not play, man, you're really screwed. So you really got to get Abram Smith. Go get it. Thing there. Now, Couch, I wanted to ask you one question, just about roster building in general. How do you feel about just rostering one tight end, one kicker, and one defense, period? Because bye week replacement's a thing.
You don't really need. It's the thing. You don't want to do that unless you're in a weird league where it's a shallow bench, right? It's all about the bench. So if you're in a dynasty league with a shallow bench, which I'm not in any, then that's fine. But if it's deep bench, there's really don't really have to do that. You could just roster a second. There's a difference between rostering 6 tight ends and 2.
Yeah.
Like I
So
just
right
don't
now, this
see it as
team
a
only
big
has one.
deal.
I hear you. This team only has one, Hawkinson. It's a good tight end, but that's it. You have no tight end two, period.
Yeah. There's 12 bench spots, a ton of IR spots. Doesn't seem like you got taxi squads. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably a good idea to have one backup tight end if you can.
Okay, so I have a suggestion because, again, what are you going to do with these 2023 seconds? Like you said, if you use all of them, only 4 of them are going to hit. You have no idea for when the 4 are going to hit, et cetera, at which positions as well. So honestly, you just take one of those 2023 seconds, and I feel like you'd be able to get this done. Tell me if I'm wrong. Trade it for a guy like Mike Gesicki. Decent
You can,
tight end
yeah, you
too.
can get that done for sure. If
Good
people know
upside.
what's up with 2023, if these are
Yeah.
dynasty people, someone's gonna like that.
Yeah. Just find a rebuilding team, maybe some other guy who has some seconds as well. Maybe he won't have as many as you because you have 11. But
and hopefully do one of his 2023s that is going to be later second round.
Right.
If you can, because sometimes people don't look at that.
That's true. They
Don't
just see
pay
the
attention.
year and the number. That's it. That's true.
Yep. So if one of these teams are really good,
yeah. But that's
like
pretty much
fake
it
Smitty
for
team. Smitty I don't think that's the real Smitty. I think that's just another guy named Smitty. No, yeah, I don't think that's it. I doubt it. Yeah, this Smitty guy, if he's got a good team, trade that pick.
Yeah.
Are we
That's
good?
about all the recommendations for this season. What this team should do this season: go get Abram Smith, maybe trade for Mike Gesicki. In terms of the future, like what you want to do a year or two down the road, the only thing is maybe you want to trade Eckler and Kamara later on after this year for rookie picks and just get younger at the running back position, right? Because you have these young receivers already. TJ Hawkinson's young too. So your team, aside from the running backs and maybe Tom Brady, your team is pretty young as well as win now. So you can kind of get the best of the world too, where if you retain your roster now, in the future, get younger at the running back position, you could win for maybe not just this year, but 2, 3, 4 years down the road, consecutively. I mean, so that's what we'll do maybe down the line.
We got a couple people submitting. So we'll probably be able to do this next week, right? Thursday.
Yeah, I think so.
2 people said they submitted.
Nice.
Already. So we got this is picking up. All right. So hopefully people enjoy this, especially if it's your team. And I feel like, it's not too many people's watching to where this is kind of like a family, like we can all kind of watch and anyone can get it. Their dynasty hacked. Like it's not a long
just send it over to us.
It's not like my other show where it's all hectic and people are outbidding. This is 100% free. People are outbidding each other and stuff. This is the second channel. It's more chill. So good show concept. Right. And Sushin, you're familiar with this squad already. I'm sure Tyler's in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm probably in the league, I think.
All right. So, okay. So last one we have is from Big Jim Gene. So I'm in a full rebuild and building around Herbert as my QB and Komet as my tight end. The rest I'm just building around them. Finished our draft last week. Any players you think I should keep or try to flip for capital next year, 2024? So he's trying to do our job here, which is fine, I guess.
That's a loaded question, first of all. So let's break this down piece by piece, right? So I am in full rebuild, correct. Let's look at the roster real quick. It's in bad shape. I look at the team, I see Justin Herbert, I see maybe Kenny Pickett, Cole Kmet he was alluding to. What running backs, get you excited? if you can find one running back for me that gets you excited, I will be shocked.
Well, I liked Rashad White as a draft pick this year in rookie drafts, but I mean, I'm
Sure, I mean
not. I
it's
mean,
not
not looking
inspiring
forward to
for
starting him week 1, though. I'll tell you that.
right,
The
right,
opposite of getting me excited.
right. So yeah, when you say that this team is in full rebuild mode, you're absolutely right. This is what a rebuild looks like. You have some picks too. We'll go over that in a little bit, but you now say you're building around Herbert and Komet, and I have a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I didn't understand anything when I read it. I need the breakdown part by part because that was loaded. Yes. Now I'm
Yeah,
starting to
so
understand this team. I need a visual as well. And this
right.
visual is
So Justin
Donovan
Herbert's
Pooples
solid.
Jones.
Yeah, right. What do you build around Cole Kmet? Couch? Are you into that?
No, and Jeremy's saying I think Komet's going to have a breakout year just based off volume, but it's like
He did last year.
Yeah, I mean, Allen Robinson was the number 72 wide receiver. It's not like some guy came and just like completely like demolished Cole Kmet. It's like, oh my god, like it's not like, oh my god, he played with Jerry Rice. Now that Jerry Rice is gone, Cole Kmet's got like he played with nobody,
right,
and
and
he
he
still
didn't
did
do
bad.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they even had injuries at running back position. So I think he is going to get a lot of volume, but I also think he's not the one. He has no yak. He's really not that fast. He's not that athletic. He's no George Kittle. He's no Darren Waller. He's no Mike Gesicki. Who's off the charts athletically. And we also have all the worries, right? His O-line is a worry. Justin Fields is a worry. That offense is a worry. We both think they're tanking. That's a worry. So there's a lot of worry here. I think the volume is going to be there. But I mean, how long is this going to last if everything works out? I mean,
Yeah.
the volume should dip off then as well because they're going to get some real receivers. It's tough. Also, if you're tanking, okay, so if he's going to have a breakout year, that's actually bad for this team because you're tanking
probably.
this year.
Right.
And like we said, and if we're going with Jeremy's theory, then the volume will fall off because they'll get some real weapons within 1 or 2 years. By 2024, they'll have real receivers, and Cole Kmet will be a backup tight end, that's what he deserves to be. But we know Gene's a big Kmet fan, so let's not ruin his parade too much.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm about to rain on it, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess that's the whole hack my dynasty thing is to okay. Yeah, all right, we're gonna give some real advice here. All right.
Yeah, I cannot, sign off on building on Cole Kmet. And I'm looking at the team. It's a little bit shallow of a league, shallower than what we're accustomed to. Only 8 players in the starters, no super flex, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers only. Fine. But I look at the team and I see Justin Herbert and I see no one else. Honestly, you can scroll through the team yourself and look at it. Isaiah Spiller, he's all right. Rashad White, like you said, not exciting for week 1. The whole team is a bunch of guys who are like, they're okay, they're average, they're young, they're unknown. Nothing is inspiring on this team. It's young, sure. David Bell, Peoples-Jones, Velus Jones. None of these names are studs. You don't have any Treylon Burks type guys. You know what I mean?
He's got Abram Smith.
He's got Abram Smith though, baby. All right.
I mean, come on. Let's hook these other guys up on the show. Come on, they need him.
For real. So I suggest this was tricky. This was the trickiest one of the 3 that I had to figure out and what direction, what to do here. I have two routes I want to go, or 2 routes I'm thinking of going, right? One is what we call the productive struggle, right? Which is you kind of get guys for cheaper. Let's take last year, 2 years ago, for example, a guy like Brandon Cooks. Not the sexiest name. He's not going to cost you a lot, but he will give you that 10, 12, 13 points in your starting lineup that you actually kind of need to win. So that's if you can get guys like that, because you don't have enough assets right now to get a full team of studs, for example. You just don't. You only have 3 first round picks in 2023 and then no extra picks in the other years. So you're a little bit short on assets. So one thing you could do is try to go for value, get that productive struggle if you
What do
want
you
to.
mean? What do you mean? He's got a million 2023s and he's got a
He's got 5
2024
seconds in
first.
2023. He's got three first round picks in 2023. Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but look at he only has one cornerstone on his team, and he
Yeah, I mean
needs
it's
to
not
feel
not
the
enough to
roster.
win next year. Is that what?
And look at the future capital as well. He doesn't have enough to win ever, basically. Because let's say he hits on all 3 first round picks, which is that going to happen? It could.
It's impossible.
Might
No, it's
not
impossible.
Also. Right, that's what I'm saying. So like even if he hits on all 3, then he has 4 cornerstones. He has half of his starting lineup. That's not good. Way more than that. So the other route that I would go to, and this is the one that if this were my team, I would probably do this because I am more of a patient person. I would trade Justin Herbert, trade Kmet, trade any guys that I have for value, and just try to get more cornerstones. So one trade idea
I would
that I
wait
have,
on Kmet though.
Wait on
This
Kmet.
guy has time, right? Because I think Gene is higher than Kmet on most. I think Kmet's pretty torn. Like right now, we just got How does the chat feel about Kmet? Just tell me how you guys like. Do you guys like him or not? Like a simple answer. I think it's kind of torn. I think it's 50-50. And I think he will have his games because of the volume. So maybe, I don't know if you can wait in your plan, but I think you should wait if you can to trade Kmet when he does have a good game.
If you can wait and you can get more, you can get a good, decent value. Go ahead, by all means, do it. If you're like me and you don't think it's going to happen, like Rather Be Out Fishing just says, I share the same opinion. Then maybe
I like the Met. I like the Met. Mediocre.
Like
I think he's mediocre. I don't think Kmet's terrible, but I think he's not good. He's not the one.
He's still worth something. He's not like waiver fodder or like a Kylan Granson or that new Indianapolis tight end. Like he's worth a little bit more than that, not worthless, but he's Met, right? Jeremy's bringing up a good point. You probably could do that. What I would say is
he's trying to tank. Kmet's gonna find peak value like week 3 when he balls out. That's when you trade him.
What I would say is if you're gonna trade Kmet now, if you are, Gene, you have to, but if you are, what about Justin Herbert, Cole Kmet, throw in a 2nd round pick, and get 2 first round picks? The idea is you give up 1 cornerstone, Justin Herbert, you give up a couple average, decent pieces, and you get 2 cornerstones. Then if you can do this again with a
but
pick,
only 1 would hit, right? Out of 2.
Sure. Well, once
out of 2, only 50% of first hit.
You don't have to use all those first when we're on the clock. We need to get out. There's two like stages of the rebuild.
I'm just trying to understand why wouldn't he keep Herbert?
Why wouldn't he keep Herbert? Because he doesn't have enough assets right now to fill out a full roster. Honestly,
he just needs depth.
He needs starters. He has depth. Rashad White, Spiller, Nico Collins, and Peoples-Jones are all depth pieces. He needs starters.
I meant like depth start. Like I mean, like he needs like a wide receiver 2, like he needs to fill out his starting roster.
Exactly. Right.
That's what I meant by
depth.
You
can't do that with 2nd round picks. You only have 3 first round picks. You're not going to be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with 3 first rounders, and then this whatever. So you first need to get the amount of capital necessary to fill out the roster, and then after that, you don't have to use every single pick on a rookie. You can trade one of those 2023 first. Maybe you get someone like I don't know, like a Debo or like a Cup or someone like in a year's time when they're a year older, something like that. DJ Moore, whoever. You mix and match, but the point is, let's first get the quantity.
T. Higgins.
Let's get enough. T. Higgins as
That's
well.
a younger. We
That's a
need to
good
be.
one.
You can't be going for Cup, bro. It's gonna waste on. It's gonna rot on his team.
That's true. Right.
It's Higgins though. Higgins.
Right.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Still young. Yeah.
Still young, still ascending, and good.
Yeah. Oh, slightly overshadowed by Jamar Chase. That's why might be able to get him for a slight discount.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to do that, you get one extra cornerstone. Because why trade? You probably won't be able to get a first for Kmet and some stuff. I don't think it's going to happen. But you could probably get 2 firsts if you add in Justin Herbert with that deal, just because it's a good player. That's my thought process, at least, on it. Feel free to disagree, I guess, but that's basically where I'm at with this team. You just got to get.
So you're saying you got to make this tough decision. It's not going to be pretty. But you're saying if you keep going, I mean, your best case scenario is you're going to finish 6th place out of 12 teams. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to barely make playoffs if you're lucky, and then not stand a chance of getting far in the playoffs. Yeah, this is a tough one. I get what you mean. I mean, yeah, it is.
Find ways to convert 1 cornerstone to 2 cornerstones. If you can do that twice, because you have a 2023 first, right? So maybe like once draft hype season is there for 2023, maybe you can give like a 2023 first and second for like a 2 first-round picks in later years. I don't know. That's just converting 1 cornerstone into 2. You need to do this a couple times, Gene, and then you'll have enough assets to make something work.
Now, let me ask you this to further understand. This is a 1 QB league.
Yeah.
In a 2 QB league, or Superflex, I should say, in a Superflex league, would you still trade away Justin Herbert, who's one of the most valuable people? You'd have to keep him just because
you have to keep him at that point. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. The reason why Herbert is expendable is because it's a 1 quarterback league.
It is very a Superflex Dynasty league is a different beast, right? 100%. This is, people drafting Kellen Moore last year, Kyle Trask, like people are going crazy for quarterbacks. Even this year in our high stakes draft that we just did, Sushane, it's a $250 buy-in league. We saw Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett get drafted in round 1, and we're loving it. And free agents were involved. We saw Drew Lock go late round 2. Like this is not a joke. This is not your $10 league where some kid is making stupid decisions. This is real players. Like these are like close to professional players. People just don't put $250 in a pool of strangers just for kicks. Like these are serious players. Like it's different. Like it's hard to find a quarterback, and I get it when you don't have a quarterback, you're really struggling in a Superflex dynasty because you can't find one. But this is not a Superflex league. Okay, well that was good. I asked you that because I wanted to further understand it. In a 1 QB league, like to me, this is the type of league where Daniel Jones is great. You get Daniel Jones for free. And look, if I'm a big dummy and I'm Ron, what's best case? You keep tanking. I mean, you're tanking anyway. So it's like, but if he is the starter for, at least the next 3 years or something, he's the starter for more than 1 year. You just got yourself a free young quarterback who is mobile.
Yes.
Like there you go.
Has a little bit of upside. I would agree there.
So it's like you can get in a league like this, you can get Daniel Jones for free. If you need a core, I mean, you definitely don't want okay, I know everyone wants to make fun of Daniel Jones. That's my point. That's why you can get him for free. But we know a guy you can't do nothing with is Geno Smith. Like that's not make fun of Daniel Jones, make fun of me. But we all know Geno Smith is worse. Like that's a nobody. Like that's not gonna get it done. Daniel Jones at least has a shot of doing something, even if it's a low chance. Like you can get this dude for free. So maybe because he's going to be without Justin Herbert. Oh God, this is scary. I get what you mean. It's dirty. You don't want to do it. It's kind of counterintuitive. It's the same type of advice you gave me when you were like, dude, trade away your picks. And I'm like, what are you crazy? I got the first overall pick. I was like, why is this guy so? And I was like, man, I was like, let me see if I can get DK Metcalf for the first overall pick. Like, why? Let me get a, guarantee. This is before the NFL. Let me get a guaranteed pick. And then I was like, let me also put out one for CeeDee Lamb. Boom! I traded the first overall pick for CeeDee Lamb, and I didn't even want the first overall pick, knowing without for sure knowing it was going to be Breece Hall, like guaranteed. He was getting now. I didn't even want a running back, so now I got CeeDee Lamb. Like, good luck trying to draft CeeDee Lamb. Like, it's pretty hard. So I got CeeDee Lamb, and I still had 2 first round picks. So I got my guys. Like, you gotta make those hard decisions. Like, you gotta do that. It's nuts because I don't trade too much in redraft. Dynasty is just it's all about trading. And as far as redraft, it's very little about trading. Like, you make 1 or 2 really impactful trades in redraft in a year, typically, and that's good. It's important. But Dynasty is like, you're making 1 or 2 very important trades per month. In Dynasty, it's a totally different beast.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's basically what we had for the team. Anything you want to add? Anything else? I mean, we could go over some second round targets, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. That might
he has Kenny Pickett. I get that's kind of like a Daniel Jones with smaller hands.
Fine. Even more reason to sell Justin Herbert, right? Because you don't need both of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, not with this team. Yeah. With another team, Justin Herbert is sexy. Yeah, with this team,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I get it's hard. Like, when I hear these things from Sushane, it's hard. It hurts. It's so counterintuitive, but it's like, I don't want to finish 6th place, which is best case scenario. Best case scenario is worst case scenario. You're getting a bad draft pick. You're not even winning it. Like, you got to go all out. All right. No, I'm good. Let's see. Okay, guys, do we have any questions here before we end it? And feel free to ask me anything. If I feel uncomfortable, I will not answer your questions. But you can ask me anything. That's what AMA stands for. Ask me anything, especially if it's Dynasty related, since we're on that topic. But really, anything you want to ask, go ahead. Yeah, DPJ and someone else was saying David Bell's the number 2. Yeah, I think David Bell's going to do better, but DPJ is going to be that sporadic, deep threat. Like, put up 30 fantasy points one week, everyone jumps over on him, and he puts up 0 the next. Like, that type of guy.
Yeah, that's more of that productive struggle that I was talking about earlier. Like, if you're not going to go for that route of selling Herbert and everything, just try to get those points from, struggle to get production from guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones and David Bell each week, and hope it's enough to rattle off some wins. But again, I'd rather sell off and just solidify my future a little more.
If you were drafting in a half PPR redraft, I'm gonna start this over. What's up, Hazelnut? By the way, recognize this guy several years. If you were drafting in a half PPR redraft, the 5 or 6 spot, in Derrick Henry and all the wide receivers are available, who do you take? Well, as of right now, man, I am looking at taking a Kelsey or a wide receiver like Cup. For me, it's Kelsey or Cup. One of those 2 will be available. I'm finding a lot of value in running backs on this year. Last year was my worst fantasy season ever, and I think it just completely freed me. I'm just really not scared anymore. I just feel like there's so much depth at running back that if you're contemplating or you're having second thoughts about a running back, I don't think you have to take them. And in redraft leagues, you probably can't trade down. But I love trading down if you can, or just punting running back the first round. There's plenty of running backs later on. Look at Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones going round 3, Fournette going round 3. You can easily cuff them. James Conner's going late. I like David Montgomery. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. He's going round 4. Travis Etienne round 5. I mean, that's in PPR. Like, come on, even half PPR, that's still good. Non-PPR, not so much. But get Travis Etienne round 5. Guys, James Robinson tore his Achilles December 26th. Doubt he's coming back anytime soon. Carlos Hyde is off the team. There's really not a lot going on.
It's that late round flyer, Snoop Connor. That's all they have.
That's all
That's
they
it.
have. Like, and on any other team, he'd probably get cut.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you could get all these guys late. So I'm a fan of getting a guy like Kelsey or Mark Andrews. Other than that, I guess you can put Kyle Pitts kind of up there, or wide receiver. That's what I do, man. Saquon Barkley going early round 3 sometimes. Look, I got him at 2.11. Like, it's worth it. Like, for me, I think if you can get him nearly round 3, Zeke is going round 3. J.K. Dobbins going round 5. Like, I feel like there's so much. Damian Pierce round 10. I can't believe that one.
Man, there's a lot of good running backs that I see. You're right. You're right about that. Round 6 especially. Sanders, Dillon, Hunt, Walker, Edwards, Yum. And we have a question about a guy we both love.
Yeah, we love Alec Pierce. I like him in redraft. I like him in Dynasty. Talk about him on a lot of my videos on the main channel. I'm talking about him on TikTok. So we like Alec Pierce, man. Upgrade at quarterback. He's going to be the number 2 receiver there.
Big fan. Big fan. Go get him. Go get him if you haven't drafted yet.
Fishing says, I have a $250 buy-in league on the FFPC Superflex tight end premium. What would it take to get you guys to hack it? Oh, just send it. Send it. Yeah, for free. Just do it for free. Yeah. We take donations. You guys can donate on YouTube or send me Venmo or something, but that's totally optional. You don't have to do it at all. But we'll do it for free. Just hit me up on Twitter at Fantasy Couch. Use the hashtag #HackMyDynasty. Well, I dabble in auction. I've had a good amount of success in auction. My ADD can't handle too many of those leagues, though. I know you don't do much auction, but how much do you value JT? Is he a 20-25% of salary type of player reader? What I do with auction is I usually never splurge on the number 1 guy, because a lot of people, I try to get in. There's a sweet spot in auction. And the thing that's hard about that is every auction league is different. I think what's going to help you identify what kind of draft you're going to see in an auction, or like how people are bidding, is the experience. So last year was the first year we did an auction on the Sleeper platform, and it had the most noobs, the most people that never done an auction in their lives in there. And so bids were all over the place. I got incredible deals. So count how many noobs are in your league. If you're in a league with high stakes, $100 plus, with guys that have played auction for nearly a decade, those are pros. So that's going to be totally different, and only you're going to be able to assess that. They're going to be bidding a lot better. So just watch out for that. It's going to be a lot tougher. But in leagues where there are a lot of noobs, which most of my leagues are, a lot of people don't do auction. I do it every year. I do it with you guys, Couch Fam League. You should be able to swoop in and get, just exactly what I was talking about. Tier 2 and tier 3 all the way, baby. Last year I got like Matthew Stafford for $1 or $2. I got Tom Brady for like $2 to $4. Like nothing, because everyone, like, people spend like $30 plus on Mahomes. Like, they go crazy. But I got, Stafford for what, like 2%, 3% of the price or something, like crazy, of just that quarterback. So that's usually my strategy. I do like the studs and duds strategy, but doesn't have to be the studdiest of the all studs, the land of the studs, the studdiest of the stud. Like, it doesn't have to be the best, doesn't have to be JT. Spending, what is 20% of 200? That's $40.
$40.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Yeah, I'd do that. In a real auction draft, bro, JT's gonna go for 70 plus easy.
Oh my God, really?
Oh yeah, because it's real. It's a real stud. Yeah. He's going in with some pros, like people that are like degenerate auction, like crazy players. He'll go for 100. He'll go for 80, 100. Yeah, because they just splurge. They're just like, oh, like, let's go. Because in auction, you can get real players for $1. Like, see, like Jarvis Landry is like a type of player that might go for $1. Like, you might start him. Like, a lot of these guys, like, you might be able to start like Kirk Cousins. He's going for $1. you'll be able to start him for sure. All these
Yeah.
tight ends down here, $1. Easy. Gronk's probably $1 or $2. Tunyon for $1, like Irv Smith, $2. Like you get these guys for dirt cheap, dude. So
Yeah.
20%, that's nothing. Yeah. So I would spend $50 on JT. Easy, bro. That's a no-brainer. Cooper Kupp, same. He's gonna go for $70 plus at a $200 budget.
That's crazy to me, but wow, interesting. Makes sense though, because like you said, you can get a lot of those guys for $1. Get those studs. I like it.
Depends on the price. Like if you're in a real auction, that's never gonna happen. You're never gonna be able to get JT for
that type of price.
$50. Like no, heck no. I got Derrick Henry last year for probably 50 something, like around $50. So there's no way you're gonna get JT for $50. That's not gonna happen. Not this year.
Right.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. Sounds like a compliment, though. That's good. Richard says, I wanted Sushane to give me some tips on my Dynasty team. He's helped me win 6 championships with Hack My Lineup.
Is that you?
That'd
be you, right?
I think you got our names mixed up.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. Appreciate everything you do. No. He knows us. I think he got mixed up with this sentence.
Yeah. Got you.
So he wants you to give him Dynasty advice with this, like he's saying, like this brand has helped him win 6 championships.
Send the team over. We got you. Send it over.
Yeah, Richard, are you on Twitter? You don't like. I just figured Twitter is the easiest way. I mean, you got to hit me up some way, but if you can just even create a blank account, it helps us. Like using the hashtag, it just gets it going. Like it's something. It's more organized. So hit me up. Just tag me at Fantasy Couch and use the hashtag #HackMyDynasty and we'll hack it for free. Damn, Dobbins went in the 5th. Yeah, that's pretty insane. You get Dobbins in the 5th. Oh, man, I was talking to Gene. He got kind of mad. I was trashing his Gibson pick in round 3. I was like, bro, you picked Gibson before James Conner? Like, I was like, I'd rather have J.K. Dobbins in round 5 than Gibson round 3. And he's like, oh, you don't think he's gonna bounce back? No, bro. They literally just drafted another running back, and J.D. McKissick went to Buffalo, but didn't. Came back and stayed in Washington. So it's like it's even worse.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Antonio.
It's even worse.
No. Who went first? I see they went back to back. Was it Connor who went first? Or?
No, Connor went one pick later.
Oh no!
James Conner is a stud. We're looking at 13 touchdowns for James. Like James Conner's gonna get like 11, 13 touchdowns. Health is the only concern. But like he's on a good team. He's gonna get touchdowns. He's gonna be the goal line back. Gibson is gonna be the no back. He's just gonna be like you're gonna put him in your flex and regret your life. I guess that's gonna happen.
Facts, though. Don't disagree at all.
ETN gonna skyrocket in August. Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be. We're talking about public perception. ETN's kind of a guy people like to get behind. Really, the main. What can you say that's bad about Travis Etienne? Urban Meyer, how he went around about the draft because Urban Meyer drafted him. The injury. The really Jaguars aren't a good team, I guess. Doesn't really factor too much. Because we like him a little bit more for the PPR reason and not so much like, oh, he's going to score 20 touchdowns. I don't think anyone believes that.
Right.
So I think Etienne's a guy people like. People want to root for. Very fun player to watch. Very fun college player.
Oh, yes.
And he's going to be catching a lot of passes. And he's the main back right now. Like, when would James Robinson come back, Sushane?
We're talking at least half the season, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Achilles in December. I don't know. This is so different because Cam Akers came back so quick, right?
That's an anomaly. That's like a one-off.
But is this a new trend, though? Because, we would have said that about the first ACL when somebody came back in 7 months.
Well, okay. I see here it's anywhere between 4 and 12 months. So quite a big range. Let's call it like 8 to 9 months.
That's good that you looked that up. That's pretty crazy, 4 to 12 months. Also, though, if you do come back within 4 to 6 months, you're not going to have that pop. Achilles is a scary
Yeah.
injury. Like my buddy tore his Achilles. I think Klay Thompson, basketball player playing right now, he tore his Achilles. He talked about it. It's not. He said it's worse than the ACL. He tore his ACL too. It's pretty bad, and it's like you're not, especially a running back. Like,
do you see? Speaking of running back, do you see Tariq Cohen's Instagram live? He actually popped his Achilles while on live.
I don't want to see that. I've heard it though. Yeah, I didn't.
It was.
I'm not gonna look at that.
Right, but it happens, man. That's just. I don't know.
Thinking that CH was. Thinking that CH was either 1.01 or 1.02 in 2022. I don't know if you're making fun of me. I don't know if you're making fun of yourself.
He's making fun of me. Because I took CEH 101. He's making fun of me.
Well, I mean, like most people thought that, including me. I mean, like pretty much, it's not like we're the only people that did that.
Right.
Thoughts on Amon-Ra? I mean, I think he's a great talent, but I don't know how it's going to look with Jameson Williams back and who's going to be the quarterback. Lions are in flux. I like where they're fluxing. I like where they're going.
They're in flux, but they're fluxing nice.
I like it. Yeah, we all like the coach. You know, we like some of the weapons. O-line's looking okay. DeAndre Swift. I got to see how they gel, man. I mean, they did draft Jameson Williams. That's like my main analysis. They drafted Jameson Williams. So
to be the one. You would think.
To be number one.
Right.
You were in the auction draft last year. Yeah, what a mess. Bunch of noobs. I destroyed it and I had that type of year where it's just absolutely me and this other guy demolished it and like, nah. Oh, you drafted Derrick Henry? Injured. You drafted Tom Brady? It was like, he's gonna fall off towards the end. I was like, come on, let me win.
That's crazy. Wow. Jeez.
Not gonna lie, I don't have Twitter. Yeah, but if you want to create if you want to help us out and create a burner account and just tweet us, that would help, but you don't have to. It would help a lot. That way we have them. That's the thing, is like we have them all in one place. It would help because it's gonna get. It seems like it's picking up steam already. Like we could have had 0 hacks. We had 4, but we had to not do Val's because he drafted already.
Yeah. All right, perfect. We got a couple.
Is there anything else?
Couple entries getting sent. I think that's about it. We covered all the teams. I hope the guys who are watching, I hope the guys who sent in their teams, they like what I was saying. I know it might not be the most ideal or the easiest decisions to make. Some of these are going to be tough decisions, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to win the league. So go win, man. Best of luck to you.
All right, guys. That was a long podcast, 2 hours. Hey, hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the podcast. We're everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcast app, Google, Stitcher, YouTube, live streaming on Twitch. I'm on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. And if you guys do want to be part of the Throne League, if you don't know what the Throne League is, listen to the beginning of this podcast. If you want to be part of the Throne League, hit me up and I'll give you an invite to the Discord, the War Room. No league like that. Toast made a mistake. Did you ban Richard? I can fix that. I'm admin. I can fix that. Hopefully I can bring him back. All right, guys. See you on the next one.